Pro. It's got mega powerful internals, some gorgeous looking styling, but it also packs Huawei's EMUI 11 with Android version 10. So first things first, you greeted with the device opening the box, and it looks incredibly impressive. On the top, you of course have the device itself. I have unwrapped it, but just to give you a look around the body here, gorgeous looking styling. You've got this kind of circular dial over at the back. Some people have joked looks a little bit like Apple's iPod, but what it is in fact is a very, very interesting camera layout. It's a camera bump here with incredibly powerful Leica optics. Apart from this, you get a massive 94.1% screen to body ratio, so incredibly clean looking, almost no cutouts anywhere. It wraps around in a waterfall style layout. Over at the bottom, USB Type-C port, firing speaker here, as well as your SIM pin ejection tray. Over at the top, another firing speaker there, microphones, and over on the side, which I really like with Huawei devices, you get this red power switch, easy to find and see immediately. Then apart from this, if we get the tray out the way, you of course get your usual SIM pin ejection tool here. Quite nice, they include a soft touch TPU style cover. It's always nice to see because it's always hard to find with brand new devices. And you also get a very hefty, very weighty wall charge brick, because of course this is actually rated here at 66 watts, ultra fast charging, and that means that you'll get the phone in half an hour to almost full. And with a big 44 milliamp hour battery, you're getting true everyday usable performance here. We're talking serious battery performance on offer. Then inside the box here, you also get a nice long USB Type-C cord, as well as a pair of nice white USB Type-C in earphones. So throwing all of this aside, let's take a look what Huawei's new Mate 40 Pro has to offer. Now yes, it runs Android version 10, but of course it doesn't run all the Google services. So that means Google Maps, for instance, has been replaced with what Huawei call Petal Maps. Now I've used it, and it too is a very impressive navigation service, which is fully voice guided. All your major apps, particularly here in South Africa, have been thought about, and like any new product, they're adding new apps all the time. So I've got the DSTV app, for instance, streaming my TV and multimedia, F&B for banking, I can do all the major banks and things, Instagram, of course WhatsApp Messenger, Signal Messenger. All of those are either available through Huawei's own app gallery, which I'll jump into here to show you, or if you prefer, you can also, of course, sideload most of the applications that you want to use using APK files. Now, in theory, it's great. The only thing is, of course, it depends on the age of the user, how technically savvy you are. You might find for the older user, it's easier to stay with something established, such as iOS or a traditional Android phone with all the Google Play services. But I found in my case, when you get to using the device, the incredibly powerful hardware which it puts together, the brilliance of the package, is certainly something that makes up for any downsides, if there are, to not using Google's actual services, because you can actually get around and use everything. I've got my DJI apps here for the drone, I've got Discovery, for instance, Mr. D, you name it. Most of the major South African players are either on Huawei's own app gallery, or if they're not on app gallery, I've sideloaded them and they're working via APK files. Then, as I mentioned, we've got to jump into the Leica-based camera. Of course, there's a ton of different shooting modes. You can have manual exposure settings, aperture settings, night mode, portrait, photo, video. Of course, it'll do 4K video. There's pro modes where you can filter and touch the ISO, the white balance, your electronic viewfinders, you name it, professional photography through and through. And then, of course, you've got Huawei's array of different things, such as story creator mode, dual view, which allows you to see both the back and front cameras at the same time. Another quite handy feature, which is great if you want to produce content on your own and see the entire scene. Then the other one is a 50 times zoom camera. 50 times zoom is seriously sharp. I mean, I'm now looking at wallpaper, and you can actually see the actual grain and texture here. And if I jump to a scene where we're outside of the camera, you can actually see exactly how detailed it is. Now of course you've got to hold the camera still and steady because it's zooming so intensely, but it's quite something that when I snap a picture as I have now, you can see a little lug there on the legs of that camera mount, and that is far in the corner of the room, and they are tiny, and you can see the chrome in detail. So that is what this camera is all about. You take its superb night mode photography, this vibrant screen which comes to life. You take the massive screen to body ratio, the AMOLED display which pops, the Huawei Kirin 9000 5G chipset with 5nm processing, the most powerful one the firm has ever manufactured. You take all of this and you roll it into a gorgeous looking product, something so premium in the hand and something which works so flawlessly. And I think even if you're a purist who likes something traditional like iOS, or someone who's become used to Android and all the Google Play services and applications which don't get supported here, you find you can easily forgive it and work a way around it, because this is cutting edge premium hardware. This is a very impressive phone from the brand, and one which I've thoroughly enjoyed spending time with.